What's going on, guys? Today we are deep diving Septic again. If you haven't watched my last video, go back, watch why you want to buy a Septic video. And on that, there was tons of comments about, well, where do you find these Septic companies for sale? And we're gonna go through that today in depth to give you the truth about where to find them and the biggest opportunities out there on the market today. This industry is one of the prime industries for M&A and small acquisitions because the business is simple, but also it's a great business with amazing margins, and there's not a ton of people looking at these things. So it's a catch-22, but there's some real opportunity and a lot of people miss it. So let's break down and look out for what we need to watch for.
Probably one of the most important decisions you can make in your ETA journey is which SBA lender you are going to pick. A lender who will be in your corner to get you closed on the deal, as well as set you up for future expansion. That is why we partnered with Alan Peterson from First Internet Bank. He and his team take a how can we approach, as well as I personally know they specialize in home service acquisitions. Mention the show or my handsome bald head and receive a reduced good faith deposit, as well as a detailed deal review and maybe even a buy-side pre-qualification. No strings attached. Head on over to alanfib.com, that's alanfib.com, or click the link below to get connected.
So there's really three ways to find a Septic business. The first one is the most obvious one. It's going to be, you're going to head on over to a deal aggregator like BizBuySell, BizQuest, LoopNet, Axios, any of these aggregators that sell businesses where you can scroll. These are the platforms. Sometimes there's regional platforms depending on where you're from, but here's the great part about those. There's already motivated sellers. They want to sell you their business. So that's amazing because that's half the battle, is somebody who wants to sell you that business. That's what you're looking for. But the downside to that is it means it's also going to be the most expensive. They have their financials. It's super clean usually, but because of that, there's lots of people with their hands in the pot looking for a little bit, and who's paying for that? You are in the long run. So that is going to be the easiest way to find septic businesses for sale. Sometimes you're going to want to search plumbing, sometimes septic, sometimes they do both. So just keep that open. But again, this is probably the starting spot, but not the finish spot. So the next option is going and talking to your local business brokers. These are your boots on the ground deal finders. Sometimes they'll look for you, but most of the time they just have a series of businesses that are local to where you're at. And if you tell them specifically what you want, I would like a septic business that's over $300,000 in EBITDA. When they find it, they have probably 3 or 4 people who would be interested in that business in your area, and they will reach out to you and let you know. Making sure you talk to these business brokers and that you're going through the motions with them so that if the perfect deal does arise, you're the first one that they're thinking of. The good news is that these are motivated sellers. Again, they want to sell you their business. So there's an incentive for the broker to bring you the business because they know you're a buyer, and there's an incentive for the seller because they're selling their business. They want to get out, they want to retire, they want their money now. So that's the good news. The bad news is business brokers probably don't have this sitting here. It's not just one of these things where you can scroll on their website, call them up and say, hey, you got any septic companies for sale? It's probably a very low likelihood at any point in time that they have a septic company. And then the other downside, again, it's probably going to be more expensive because they have a broker who is helping them on what their valuation should be, and their valuation should be always higher when a broker is involved. This is the second spot I would go to. I would get in there, I'd start talking to brokers, I'd start networking. Maybe they can introduce you to some septic guys. Who knows? It's always worth the chance. Last but not least, the best way, in my opinion, to buy a septic business in 2026 is going to be, you are going to go to your local state's water permitting, septic permitting website. Almost all states I know have this. I've done it in Idaho, I've done it in California, and now I've done it in Tennessee. And I've done it for well drilling, and now I've done it for septic. This area of septic and well drilling and kind of the environmental services, if you will, they're always permitted, and they always have data viewer where you can get a list of how many people do this specific task. And so the next logical step, call every single one of them or email them, whatever you feel more comfortable with, but call is going to go much further. So I would call A Team Septic, and then I'd call A to Z Septic, and then I'd call AB Harbiner Construction. So obviously a construction company is probably not going to be the correct one, but there's plenty of just septic companies in here that would potentially want to move to sell. And there's a few options, right? Maybe it's somebody who has their license but has shut down their business. That's still a good book of account that you can buy for really cheap. They shut down, they said, hey, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm done. And they retired, they left their permit up, they left their book of business, and the people that have used them in the past are now probably calling, trying to find someone else, and over the next 2 to 3 years when they need their system pumped. So it's a great method to see if people are still in business, but over and all, just to get a really big list of potential septic and sewer people in your area. So that's the first step. The second step is simple. Call them and email them, call them and email them. You're gonna have to find email address, find phone numbers, but it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. And this is the best way to do it because A, it'll get you those off-market deals. And those off-market deals, A, are gonna be the cheapest, the most reasonable, the most affordable. You're not gonna take on a ton of debt to grab these. And B, even if you don't buy this company, you still get to network in the industry. So maybe it's somebody who you call and they say, hey, don't buy a septic company. There's this regulation coming along, just trying to help a new person out. So what's nice about the home service industry is everyone generally is helping everyone. It's very wonderful. It's all the ships in the harbor rise together type of industry, and you'll get a lot of good stuff. So a lot of times, they're these smaller outfits, they're not overly, especially in septic, they're not overly exposed to private equity. There's not a bunch of people calling them daily asking if they're selling like you see in plumbing or electrical or HVAC. So it's a great industry to just talk to people and get a lay of the land. So to recap, I would definitely look at deal websites. Deal aggregator websites is the first place. Second place is I'd start calling my brokers, my local brokers. Call 6 to 10 of them, tell them what you're looking for, ask to be put on their list. And then lastly, off-market outreach is going to be the key in 2026. It's time consuming, but putting in a little effort will go a long way. So if you're serious about buying a septic business, this is the roadmap. And if you want to break down exactly how to value one, such as how to value those trucks and how to value the contracts and how to look at route-based, that'll be the next video. So tell me what you're looking for below. Like, comment, share so that I can keep giving you guys this information. Subscribe to JackQuisitions, and we'll see you on the next one.